Hello everyone, it is Kubera time. For me it is Thursday, for you it is Friday, because that's when these videos go up, and this is typically when I record them. Isn't that wonderful? I am back from the gym, hence why I look like this. On this fine, what is it? 1:17, if you care about the time that I'm recording this. Yes, but here we are, for Kubera, picking up where we left off on the stream Wednesday. If you missed the stream, card on the top right, go check it out. Yeah. We're going to do 3 chapters today because I was kind of advised to do that for the maximum cliffhanger. And I listen to you guys for some reason. Well, I listen to you because you tell me things that typically are true. And you correct me when I'm wrong. So yeah, anyway. Let's rock. What is this, Guilty Gear? Let's rock. Heaven or hell. I fucking love Guilty Gear. Anyway. Please, wake up. He's here. Shoot. To go after him. I have no choice but to use my mother's power again. Wow, they're ditching me again. Anyway, sis, why are you using stealth in a place like this? But Lila's not your sister. What? What? Hold on. That doesn't seem right. Kubera, Season 3, Episode 304, Fun at 1:10. Stop running away like a coward! I just moved to a spot that seemed more adequate for our conversation, that's all. Conversation? Why don't you worry about that one? Worry about that once we go back to our time. You may have sent Lise here hoping she'd change history, but she decided to leave it as is. I got swept into the Force, just as you did, and I don't have the power to send you back. Huh? Then who sent us here? Well, wanted to be someone who dwells on this past the most. I had nothing to do with it. Who knows? You might have done it unconsciously. It all happened right when you were charging at me, and perhaps you were deeply nervous underneath, knowing you had no chance against me. That could have led to desperation, making you want to go back in time when you summoned me, so you could choose a different path. Are you telling me her desperation made it possible for her to go back in time without even realizing it? Well, I mean, with the name she has acquired, sounds appropriate. If she could do something like that, then you could as well. Since you both possess the same name power. Oh shit, yeah, Yuta knows. One of you mentioned in chat, well, the comments, I can't remember which, of the stream, that it seems like Yuta knows what's up. And yeah, it really does seem like he knows what's up, huh? That's wild. Judging by the power you exhibited in the Sura realm, I'd say you have more definite ownership over that name. Plus, don't you also have a lot of regrets from this period? I was a bit surprised, to be honest. As far as I know, you should have been busy around this time, bossing Suras to kill Kuberas on different planets. But here you are, summoned in a Terra. Giving oracles and summoning magic books in some remote village. That's not all. He even approached Mirha and was involved in the transport ship incident. Then, there's a discrepancy between the things he said when he gave that book to my mother, and his attitude after he summoned me. After he summoned me? After he was summoned? Fuck's sake. Literacy is difficult. He shows up everywhere, yet his actions are anything but consistent. As if he's a different person each time. Let me cut to the chase. It wasn't me who bossed Sura to kill Kubera on different planets. During this time, I always stayed near a Terra until my summoner Jabril died. The fact that Ateria's barrier has always remained strong while Jabril was alive proves this. How can you say that, after all this time, when you were behind the red skies back in N15? That wasn't me either. So, during the stream, there's a moment where I was thinking big time. And this kind of almost confirms my suspicions that someone has been impersonating Capital K. someone has been pretending to be him. But who? It could be Kali. It could be Vishnu. And given that there's the, you know, that kind of mystery floating around of which Vishnu, you know, the hypothetical Vishnus, as I've coined it, one of which is Kali Vishnu, you know, Kali pretending to be Vishnu, that does kind of imply the ability for Kali to take on different forms. Whether she can actually do that or not is a different question. But if she can, and at least do it for Vishnu, there's nothing to say she couldn't do it for someone else. And if she can do it, possibly Vishnu could as well. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. But this kind of implies either somebody is impersonating him, or he has some sort of fucking, you know, split personality deal going on. It could be either. We'll see.
Are you kidding me? Then why didn't you tell me sooner?
Because I couldn't. It was prohibited by a superior being.
And that prohibition just got lifted?
No, it was never lifted. Rather, that being is now inferior to me. They can no longer stop me from speaking. What the fuck?
Then, what about in the year N16? Who was that entity amongst the Ananta in golden armor?
Again, that wasn't me. But, okay, right. As I never once joined hands with the Ananta.
Then what was that? It was your face?
A god's name is special. Unlike that of a Nastika, which only holds their power. A god's name holds everything about its owner. So anyone who owns it could impersonate. See? Look at that. Fucking genius. Who owns it could impersonate that god. As the ownership of the name gets stronger, they can impersonate more seamlessly. And eventually, they can even use unique transcendentals. That entity's goal is to use my power to retrieve Ananta's body that's being kept in another dimension.
Then, was that also one of the human candidates named Kubera?
Do you even know what a candidate exactly means? Brahma intentionally created the human race as weak, so even when someone owns a special name, they can't reproduce what it holds. For this reason, most Kubera were no different from ordinary humans. Wait, hold on. No, fuck. I'm working. Never mind. So as I said on the stream, I'm still looking for a driving test cancellation. I just got notification 1, but I'm working on the day that on that date that is now freed up, so I can't take it, which is sad, because it would be next week. But hey, here we are. Because I unfortunately failed my last test, which is very sad. Anyway, for this reason, I'm going to reread this bit. Most Kubera were no different from ordinary humans. Only a select few exhibited powers beyond this boundary and became Kubera candidates. And even then, their powers were so minuscule that none of them were able to copy appearances or use transcendentals. That was the limit imposed by the human body.
So that means the entity that looked like you and cooperated with the Ananta wasn't a human. Did they even have the name Kubera as their real name?
Not really. They're more like that human being, Asharahiro.
So there's someone else like her, huh? Interesting.
2 cards participated in this fight. Even when their real names weren't Kubera, a primeval god that has command over names granted them the power to take away name power from others. 1 human, 1 Sura. I guess the primeval gods thought the fight would be too dull with just human Kubera.
and introduce those two that weren't Kubera to make things more interesting. Compared to human Kubera, who were underprepared, those two readily had the upper hand and knew the game's rules.
Why is Marina here? I assume it's the person behind them that we're worried about, not Marina himself, right? Right?
They both had distinct goals and did whatever was necessary to achieve them. Primeval god that commands names? It must have been either my mother or God Vishnu that was involved. Judging by the way things were done, I'd think it was my mother. It was both of them. Huh? When Ananta died back in year D 500. In addition to Ananta, there were gods and Taraka led by Kali to block Ananta's transcendentals. God, look at her. And although he wasn't near the fighting zone, Vishnu, who had induced Ananta's subjugation by warning everyone of his danger, was also there, watching everything.
The damn fucking Catleys, man! Damn Catleys still here.
So,
So, you'll spare my clanmates' lives in return for mine?
that's right.
There's Manasvin? Yes.
Ananta, don't buy that! First they wanted you to come closer to make you be within the range of their eyes, but now they're asking you to give up on your life! They'll kill us all as soon as you die!
Yeah, you think they would? He still is a long-time friend of mine, you know.
Who's your friend? That bastard who's trying to kill you?
Yeah. Since Manasvin's worried sick, I don't think I can make this too easy for you. So, since we both have primeval gods who have received names witnessing us, how about we make our promise official? God, Kali, I fucking love her. Also, you don't see Vishnu's eyes very often. Vishnu's normally got the hentai protagonist hair, but you can actually see his eyes. Interesting.
In each other's names, that is.
Right. I see why the shenanigans has unfolded. Something something name, something something. They've made this promise in each other's name, something something. Right, like that's what's going on here. Hold on, give me just 1 second. Unfortunate, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyhow, going on. Oh shit. Right, we've got the actual promise here. Well, fuck.
Until I take my last breath, following Ananta's death, all Ananta within the range of the eyes will neither move. No god will kill Ananta, nor kill any gods, until all of them safely escape from the range of the eyes. I promise this in the name of Ananta. I promise this in the name of Kubera.
Season 3, episode 305, Finite 1, 11.
Promises made in your names, and 2 primeval gods to oversee names as witnesses. I can see my mother showing interest, but why would God Vishnu even bother? I don't get it. Plus, I never even heard of such a thing. I mean, how would something like that be possible with all the Ananta and gods around?
Because except for those two primeval gods, no one else got to witness the deal.
These things aren't as fun if others know the full details.
As soon as Kali said that, a separate space was created, segregating us from the others. But now, there's no telling which one of them did it. Vishnu is the one who put an end to the cataclysm by sundering dimensions, so we all know he's more than capable. And Kali can also create spaces that are free from outside influence.
He's right. I've seen her create a space where others couldn't intervene. It's also odd that the parties making the deal don't have the same level of qualification. Anant is the king, so his representing his clan seems only natural. But you're not the king of the gods. So why would you make such a promise as their representative, when you know you'll suffer the consequences should anything go wrong?
I didn't have to.
Pick up the weapon. Anyone who's brave enough. The one stepping up to do this will earn the chance to represent all gods and become the true ruler of the god realm.
It's not how I voiced Brahma, but whatever.
Indra, this could be your chance to become the real king, and not just in name. So come forward if you wish. As the king of the gods, it must have bothered you to have primeval gods put before you. I've never dared to think that way. Too bad. You couldn't look in my eyes and say it. Any one of you? No one. Well, then I guess I will.
I'll do it. It was a chance to lead the god realm according to my ideals.
Fuck, I just got a test cancellation for tomorrow. But I'm at work tomorrow.
Also, that's way too short notice. Damn.
I've literally got a cancellation app on my phone, literally sat in front of me. So, yeah. You're getting a snippet into how I spend a lot of my time. Is I'm doing something with, and it's simultaneously. Like when I'm playing games. Or when I was streaming yesterday, as well. Yes, I was gonna pray that I get a convenient cancellation for, like, not when I'm in Japan. Because I did see some that were very convenient times and dates. Other than the fact that I was in a fucking foreign country at the time. So, yeah. They weren't convenient still. But they would have been, had I not planned to be abroad.
Free from primeval gods and their influence. Only if everything had worked out as planned.
I guess you weren't able to keep your promise. Who was responsible? Was it my mother? The conditions could have been easily broken by shifting the range of the eyes. Those terms were too complacent.
You're way too skeptical when it comes to your mother. Kali is indeed maleficent. But making such a low move isn't how she does things. Her style is to move her targets suffocating. Her style is to make her target suffocate in self-reproach and regret. Panel of Lees. Intervening to shift the range of the eyes would have also shifted the blame away from her targets. And that's not how she likes to win her game. It was me.
Why the fuck did you break your own promise? Don't tell me. Did you kill the Ananta? Did you really? But your only objective that day was to get rid of Ananta. Even though it seemed to you as an opportunity to kill other Nastika, you should have let them go as promised. Is that what a promise means to you? It's just a thing you can always go back on for some achievement at hand? Ananta must have died because he trusted you. I almost feel sorry for him. They refused to run. They had the chance to escape, but Ananta's death enraged them. They just wanted to end it all. Kali didn't care to stop them. She even let loose the few that she'd captured early on. And all she did was keep the range of the eyes and watch the show. It was either the Anantas dying or the gods dying.
Fuck. I mean, unironically, that kind of does play into Kali's hands, doesn't it? It might not have been her directly doing it, but this is almost certainly what Kali would have wanted. A situation like this. That's fucking genius. Wow. If that was... Or Vishnu. Given he's just there observing. He's not really involved in the conflict, he's just there as a witness to it all. Yeah.
We brought almost all of our forces with us. Gods get resurrected after they die. There are just too many of them. If all of them die at the same time... the universe will suffer during the standby period before resurrection, which will lead to countless lives being lost. I should rather give up my name. I'm currently in an erroneous state after acquiring 2 names to the spear. If things had gone as planned, the primeval god should have retrieved the additional name. But once I break my promise and give up the name Kubera, they lose justification to retrieve the name Ananta from me. Just as Kinara gave up her real name to live as Arabata, let me do the same. Obtaining the most powerful name in this manner might be the better way to realize my ideals. It was thoughtless of me. As a god, I didn't know the seriousness of giving up my real name, Kubera. Until I dealt with the consequences. So that's how things got to a point where some other entity gained the means to look just like you and wield your powers.
Damn it, I should have scrolled this far.
So who is it, exactly? The Sura that resembles you?
Monosvin. Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? He'd hold a grudge. And that is one hell of a fucking twist. That actually, despite Monosvin not having much of a presence in the story, other than like flashbacks primarily, the reason Monosvin hasn't been present is because they have been present. As Kubera. Wow, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Among the ones that lashed out at us following Ananta's death, he was the most powerful and ferocious. And also, the only one to have the same attributes as Ananta. Right when I was about to kill him, he was given a second chance by one of the primeval gods. Vishnu stepped in.
I can allow you to switch names as you wish. And Ananta at that. Can you even handle it?
I'd seen that god countless times before, but I'd never seen him in such a subdued atmosphere.
Yeah, it's weird seeing his eyes. It's really fucking unsettling. Like, genuinely. How about playing a game with me? If you win, I'll let you be the new Ananta. But if I win, someone else will become the new Ananta. Whereas, you'll lose both Kubera and Ananta. And go back to being a nothing. That nothing isn't just like, you know, being worthless as it were. That is literally, that is a name, like not having a name, being nothing. It's not even worth a thought. Just say no.
Vishnu foresees all possibilities in creation. You don't stand a chance. Period.
That fucking innocent smile, man. Who does he think he... Who does bro think he is? Very well. How would you like to play the game? Well, I mean, who does he think he is? Vishnu. That's who he thinks he is. Right, and one more to end off the video for today, as I said I would do. This is spicy.
You need consensus from 2 primeval gods in order to retrieve a name using that spear. Although Kali and Brahma had agreed to retrieve Ananta's name, they no longer will. Kali is already into our game, and Brahma would be too disappointed that you've chosen to ditch your name Kubera. So, she'd want you to rather struggle as a result. If anything, she might even intervene to make things more difficult for you. You've already seen at the beginning of time how Brahma treats those who go out of favor with her. Excluding those 2, the only remaining primeval gods are myself, who's the actual game player, and Shiva. In other words, using that spear to save yourself from the state of errors is out of the question. You know better what happens when you possess 2 names at the Nastika level, right? In this particular case, it's a combination of 2 very special names. It won't be long before you break apart. I mean, we're talking about the mightiest Nastika and the oldest Astika together.
Interesting. So Kubera is the oldest name among the gods. That's curious, isn't it? Very, very curious.
No matter how robust your soul is, 500 years will do it. 500 years of the human realm's time will be sufficient for your name to shatter and scatter across the universe. For ordinary creations, that would be the end. But thankfully for you, your previous state of being will remain even after you lose your place as an Astika. So it's worth a try, I guess, since your existence itself won't be jeopardized regardless of the outcome. The only thing is, when you go back to your previous state, so might your beliefs. The ideals you've dreamed of for what you believed to be the greater good, the sympathy you felt for someone, they'll all fade away until you completely forget, unless you remind yourself every moment. There's only one thing you should do to save yourself from that state of being, and it's to retrieve the scattered name pieces. And this is the point of this game. Manasvin, the one who fought against you fearlessly, I'll give him the power to also retrieve the name pieces. So, you'll need to compete with him while you retrieve those names.
Season 3, episode 306, Finite 1, 12. I mean, Manasvin would kind of be a near perfect candidate for the Ananta name and powers, wouldn't he? Because, you know, he is half of Manasa. Well, half. Part of him is half Manasa, right? Who is the original regressor, so, well, original. The first one we know about. The earliest one we know, but there might have been one before her. Who knows?
When a living creature with the name Kubera gets killed by Asura, the name power of the said creature will go to Manasvin. Once Manasvin's power reaches a certain point where he can tear through dimensions, he can retrieve Ananta's body and attempt to resurrect him. On the other hand, when a living creature with the name Kubera gets killed by a non-Sura being, the name of said creature goes to all who hold ownership of that name, including you, of course.
Right, so here's an interesting conundrum. So Asha doesn't have the name Kubera, and yet she is receiving the power of the name right, from killing Kuberas. But theoretically, therefore, also every other Kubera, including capital K, should receive power as well. But we've not really seen any evidence of that. And we know that Asha was given the ability to collect name power independently of being a Kubera, so it's probably to do with that is why that isn't occurring, and Asha is an independent actor within this game. Or she might not be. I don't know. But this chapter is giving us so many... These couple of chapters are giving us so many details on how... On, like, why the story has occurred. How the story has unfolded. Why it has unfolded the way it has. And potentially an outlook onto how the framework will be for the future. This right here, what we're getting now, is effectively the foundation of the plot. This here is the foundation of the world that Kubera is taking place in. This event right here is probably the single most important event in the entire timeline. Yes, you could argue Ananta becoming the regressor, you know, acquiring Manas's powers, is equally as important because that ultimately leads to this moment. But this deal that is made, this game that is proposed by Vishnu, this is the single most influential moment within the entire history of this world for the events of the story we are seeing take place. This is tight. This is tight, man. Once you retrieve all the name power and become the last one standing, you win. Then, you'll have earned your right to choose either Ananta or Kubera to decide who to become. How's that for a way to get acknowledged as the owner of the most powerful name? Not so hard, right?
I don't believe the difficulty level of how each should retrieve their name is fair.
How so?
First, excluding natural deaths, most human deaths occur because of Sura. Second, my opponent can absorb the power of Kubera, as is, following a kill, while I can only get a partial amount. Third, my opponent has a chance at winning even with partial retrieval of power, whereas I need to retrieve it in its entirety to do the same. Every single condition set forth puts me at a disadvantage. God Vishnu, I came into this game knowing about your insight, so that's not an issue. But wouldn't it be befitting your status to at least suggest conditions that are somewhat acceptable to both parties?
I see. You think Manasvin has the upper hand. The retrieving power through Suras is much easier. The flip side of that means all targets staying in places off limits to Sura are out of Manasvin's reach. Also, Manasvin's ownership over Kubera is weaker than yours to begin with, which makes it harder for him to exercise powers similar to yours, even if he retrieves a lot more name power than you. Lastly, having to give up his original name so he could gain ownership over yours and exercise its power is detrimental, because it means giving up the power as a top-tier Ananta Nastika. To become weaker, with only partial power of an Nastika, who knows? He could die before even achieving his goal.
I don't like that you've said that, Vishnu.
I feel like that's foreshadowing. For you, winning this game will be easy peasy if you can kill Manasvin. I mean, what's there to stop you from winning against remaining human Kubera? Are you saying that human... Oh wait, hold on.
Are you saying that humans are also my competitors?
I'd say that's an overstatement. Well, not after you do a little bit of fucker. Yeah, okay, this is me believing that Asha is in fact an independent within this. But then, is she a player or is she a card? From what was stated earlier, she's a card, not a player. So... But again, it's more than likely that she is a tool of Vishnu's to prevent Kubera winning. is likely, is, you know, kind of what I'm expecting it to be. Right? She is a tool of Vishnu, not of not a means for Kubera to win. She's a means for Vishnu to get the outcome he desires. Even at a point when there are only a few remaining in the game, you still have the upper hand, with a stronger ownership over that name. No matter how many strong human Kubera get, no matter how strong human Kuberas get, you'll just get that much stronger. So for you, killing them will never be an issue. If you don't want to add to your sins, you could always make human Kubera hunt each other down. Monosfin will also order other Sura to do the massacring for him. So, you might want to adopt a similar tactic, so things are much easier and neater for you. What's up? You don't feel like doing such a thing? You know, to me, it's funny that you're reluctant to go that route. If you're so noble and righteous, why did you come up with the idea to allow Godhava the power to destroy souls? Anyway, I wish you both the best of luck. Challenge yourselves until the end, and find out whether you can make your own ideals come true. Fuck. Bro, this is spicy. This is so fucking cool. Okay. So, you're saying that's why you made human Kubera kill each other?
I believed it should be my hands that shed blood and get dirty, so I wasn't going to. First, I thought I had to slow Monosfin down, so I went around the human realm to produce as many Kubera as I could.
Wow! The name Kubera will give my baby a happy life? So he's the one that went around telling people that. Right.
But as soon as I got to the point in time Vishnu had mentioned, my name got ripped to pieces, taking me back to my previous state of being. What's more, my disposition also went back to its previous state, and I began to do anything and everything for my victory. To care only about what's easier and better to get my win. Eventually, I started manipulating human Kubera to kill those I had mass-produced before.
Then, was I, by any chance?
That's right. You were one of the many Kubera produced in that manner. Be it by another human Kubera or a Sura, you were destined to die early on. But that day, as a result of that summoning, my original long-forgotten disposition was returned to me. As I'd been doing until then, I had to disregard you and leave you to die. But I couldn't do so. What's this? All human, even Sura. They're all dead. Who could have possibly... Kiddo, did you do this?
Fucking what? Hold on. Oi. Choto fucking mate. What? What? Oh my lord. You weren't joking when you said there was a big cliffhanger. Hell the fuck yeah, boys. That's dope. That's so fucking cool. What the fuck, man? These past couple chapters have been insane. Like, as far like as I'd said, for what is, you know, establishing lore, these 3 chapters were nuts. Oh my lord. Alright. Alright. Well then. We'll leave that there. Leave a like, comment, sub, notification bell. Should be around trying to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, so do everything in your power to assist me in achieving this divine mandated goal. Otherwise by divine mandate. But yeah, the gods have deemed that I deserve 1,000 subs by the end of the year. So you should help me out and help me achieve that. But yeah, anyway, leave a like, yeah, you know. I would also, you've been you. I'll take out time for another video. It's for now.